Hello students, today we are reading second poem, The Laburnum Top, written by Ted Hughes. He was an English poet, translator and children's writer. Critics frequently rank him as one of the best poets of his generation and one of the 20th century's greatest writers. He was appointed poet laureate in 1984 and held the office until his death. Okay, now let's move to the poem. First, I want to show you this picture of a beautiful tree that is goldfinch. This poem describes a mutual relationship between a laburnum tree, which is large, beautiful, but quite, we can say, alone, and a goldfinch bird, which is quite amusing, beautiful, but without a shelter. The laburnum tree gives the house to the bird and its young chicks, and the bird in return takes away its dead silence. Thus, the poet here in the poem wants to tell the readers the importance of living with each other. Every person has different capabilities and things, so we human beings should live with each other and always try to lend a helping hand, and the others will also do the same. That means we should always be ready to help others, right? So let's move to the point. Let us move to the first stanza. The laburnum top is silent, quite still. In the afternoon yellow September sunlight, a few leaves yellowing, all its seeds fallen. So in these lines, the poet says that he saw a laburnum tree. Laburnum means it's a short tree with hanging branches, yellow flowers, and poisonous seeds. So the poet says that he saw a laburnum tree whose leaves were yellow. It is silent. There is complete silence all around this tree. And he also describes, we can say, a beautiful sunny autumn season. And he says that the top of that tree was complete silent. It was quite still. That means there was no movement. In the afternoon yellow September sunlight, so we can say that atmosphere was described in the daytime of September month. A few leaves yellowing, so we can say it's the autumn season, and all the seeds of the tree had fallen. So we can say the leaves, the flowers, and the sunlight all are yellow. So the poet has used the word yellow for leaves and sunlight. Here yellow symbolizes silence, death, and beauty. He describes the whole scene of the tree with this color, right? So we can say there was complete silence, complete, we can say no motion is there, no movement is there, and it was autumn season. No doubt it was beautiful autumn season because the flowers are at the bloom. But the poet also says that the laburnum top, laburnum tree here is just, we can say, silent and without life. Okay, there is no liveliness on the tree till the goldfinch comes. So already I have told you about this bird, goldfinch, a small singing bird with yellow feathers, comes with the twitching chirrup. Twitching means sudden jerk movement in the body, and chirrup is making repeated high pitched sounds. So that is the chirping sound of the birds. A suddenness and a startlement at a branch end, then sleek as a lizard, and alert and abrupt. So, till then, till the goldfinch comes, the atmosphere on the tree was silent. There was complete silence on the tree. Then a goldfinch bird comes to end the death like scene, death like silence of the tree, and makes a sudden chirrup sound. And with the just we can say sudden jerk movement, a suddenness. And due to that chirping sound, he just moves to the branch end with the suddenness, that means rapidly, suddenly, it just moved towards the uh, branch end. And a startlement, that means everyone was amazed, or we can say there was, and everyone was just there was an amusing atmosphere at that time when goldfinch comes on the tree. Then sleek as a lizard, sleek means smooth, just like a lizard, just moves on the, we can moves smoothly on the wall in, and alert and abrupt. So we can say just like the lizard, the cautious mother goldfinch enters the tree with great care so that no predator can come to know that her babies are housed in the nest. So that's why she was just behaving in a smooth manner like a lizard. She was alert, she was cautious, and abrupt. She was just doing the things at once, rapidly. So she enters the thickness and the machine starts up. She enters the thickness of the branches, because her nest was just situated in the thick branches so that no one could just come to know about that nest. So she enters the thickness and a machine starts up. What machine? Machine is here the nest of chittering and a tremor of wings and trillings. So we can say the bird, while being rapid, alert, and cautious like a lizard, sits on the branches of the tree. And as she moved towards the thickness of the branch, her young ones, the young babies or her chicks, they started chirping and doing vibrations with wings, making a sound like a machine. So that has been compared with the machine. So we can say the poet has compared the alert, abrupt, and sleek movement of the goldfinch with that of a lizard. And the goldfinch, just her arrival in the nest has suddenly started up the silent machine. What machine is that? Nest. And it just started up the silent machine. That is, the young ones have started chittering and making noise. Okay, the whole tree trembles and thrills. And due to all this, because of the movement of the bird and her young ones, the tree starts to shake and thrill. Thrill means a sudden feeling of excitement, and thrilling means to produce a chirping sound. So we can say the whole tree becomes alive. Okay, so we can say that when he has just come to that tree, the whole tree has become alive. It is now full of life. So we can say the poet has given two opposite scenarios of the tree. The tree first being death-like and still, and then giving life and shelter to bird and her young ones. Okay. Now, it is the engine of her family. She stocks it full and then flirts out to a branch end, showing her barred face identity mask. So the laburnum tree And the goldfinch bird is the engine of her family. She provides food to her family, to her young ones, and moves to the other branch end. So it is the engine. Engine, we can say, who is there? Just like we can say the engine starts up the machine. So her arrival in the nest has suddenly started up the silent machine. So engine what is doing? She has added fuel to the machine by feeding her young ones, and as a result of that the chicks now have the energy to be active and make noise, right? She stocks it full. Stocks means to add fuel to the engine. So when she just provides them food, she just started feeding them. Then she just moved towards the branch end, led to the branch end, and then it means she was able to give her chicks the energy to be active and making noise. After feeding her chicks, we can say the goldfinch flies up and rests on the end of a branch of the tree. So her identity, showing her barred face identity mask. So what we can say, her dark colored striped face is visible as her body is yellow colored, and he just hides behind the yellow leaves of the tree that is just showing the striped face, and that is her identity mask, face mask. Barred means striped, that is barred by, we can say, uh, by the yellow leaves. So that's why we can say her identity concealed behind the yellow flowers and yellow leaves. And now she just moves toward the end of the branch. Move to the last. Then, with eerie, delicate whistle chirrup whisperings, she launches away towards the towards the infinite, and the laburnum subsides to empty. Eerie means weird and strange, or we can say somewhat frightening and fearsome. So, what happens then? After some time, the goldfinch, after reaching the end of the branch, the goldfinch, makes a sweet chirping sound, just like whispering, and flies away towards the infinite sky. So, or we can say, she just flies away towards the infinite sky. So, in this way, the laburnum tree becomes silent again after the departure of goldfinch, and everything seems to be the same as it was before the arrival of goldfinch. So we can say it again makes the laburnum tree silent and death-like. The laburnum subsides to empty means diminishes to empty. That means again there was emptiness, there was silent, there was death-like silence. So what we come to know after reading this poem? This poem is a beautiful poem in which the poet has used the laburnum tree and goldfinch as a symbol of life and its fluctuations. The poet describes how the visit of a goldfinch changes the laburnum tree. The goldfinch transforms the tree and makes it come alive as the chicks of the goldfinch start to chirp on seeing her. Once the goldfinch leaves the tree, it becomes quiet and still again. So, the laburnum tree symbolizes the pattern of our life in general, which is usually dull and inanimate. The goldfinch breaks the usual pattern and makes it lively. So, without the goldfinch, the laburnum tree is just like another tree. In other words, we can say it is the attitude of a person towards life that makes life meaningful and worth living. So, we should always be ready to help each other so that we can just live in this world in a congenial atmosphere. Right? Now come to the poetic devices. First of all, alliteration. Where it is used, you can see second line is there, September sunlight. So what it means, the repetition of a consonant sound at the beginning of two or more consecutive words. So September sunlight, S is repeated. So here that is alliteration. Then tree trembles. In the second stanza you can see sixth line is there, tree trembles. So again that is alliteration. Then, second stanza, third line, sleek as a lizard. That is simile, comparison between two things using like and as. Now, there is indirect comparison also between two things, and that is metaphor. When we say machine starts up, then machine means has been compared, the movement of the birds and the nest is compared to the machine's noise. Second one is their engine of her family. So who is the engine? Here, goldfinch. Okay. Now move to the next. Personification. When there is this line, the whole tree trembles and thrills. So we can say the attribution of personal nature characteristics to something non-human. So the tree has been personified here, and that's why the whole tree trembles. It's personification. Next one is transferred epithet, the figure of speech where the adverb is transferred to another noun. Her barred face, identity, mask. Right? I hope you are able to understand this poem. Thank you. Have a good day.